Hi there, I'm Wo, mixing engineer and producer. Today I want to talk about mixing your own music. How do you do it, where to start, and what are some good tips and techniques? After weeks of hard work and driving your CPU to the brink of extinction, your track is now finally ready to be mixed. What now? What should you do? Many people don't hire a mixing engineer because they either don't have the budget or want to learn mixing themselves. In this video I talk about what to do when the production is finished, how to set up your mix, what to listen for, and how to get started. This video doesn't contain any specific mixing tips. If you want a video on that, please let me know down in the comments below and I'll make a video on it. To get started, your production is now all ready and finished and you're ready to start mixing. The first thing is to make sure the production is as good as it gets. You're happy with the general vibe, you're happy with the sounds, because now you are committing to your production and enhancing what is in the production. If you're happy with your production, go ahead and render out the stems and create a new project. Import them into the new project and let's get started. The first challenge already arises. How should I bounce a stem? Which stems should I bounce? If you're using bus channels and you're happy with the general vibe, just export the bus channels and import them into a new project. You might have less control, but you can work quicker and easier. I would personally recommend to create a mixing template in which all your routings are already done. All your buses are set up, all your reverb sends, delay sends, everything is pre-made, so you can just quickly mix your track instead of finding which delay and reverb you want to use this time. Speed is essential in mixing. The benefits of mixing your track in a new project are huge. You can't tweak any settings you are doing in the production, and your CPU finally gets some room to breathe after that very intensive work in the production. On top of that, if you're in your new project, your mixing project, you put on a different head and use different ears. You're now listening as a mixing engineer rather than a producer. Now you've got everything nicely organized, laid out, everything is buzzed, everything is rooted, everything is sent. Where to start? I just mentioned different ears, different ways of listening. As opposed to the production in a mix, we try to enhance everything that is already there. So we are listening to which elements are defined, which elements are clear, which elements need some more space, some panning, some width, some mono, how wild is the bass, is everything tamed and controlled. That is what we are listening for. A YouTuber by the name The House of Kush has made a brilliant video on how to listen. He explains that he just stares down to anything, his desk, his speaker, anything, just to listen to the music without actually listening to the music, if that makes sense. And if you listen to the music but are not listening to the music, you can quickly hear, oh, I'm missing this, oh, this pops up, or hey, I want the lead to be a bit more like this or this. I'll link his video down below in the description. If you got the time, check it out. Having covered the listening part, where do you actually start? Quite simply, press play. But before you press play, grab a notebook, grab some WordPad, Word, anything to make notes. Press play, listen, focus on the quality of the sound, not the production, and just let it play. If anything pops up, just write it down quickly and listen all the way through. In doing so, you have a small list, a big list, doesn't matter, of areas that need attention. You can now happily start mixing. But wait, it's not that easy. You want to have some kind of structure. There are many ways to actually start mixing, to actually start twisting knobs. And there is no wrong way. If it sounds good, it sounds good. It's not rocket science, we're making music here. The first thing I do in a mix is search for my anchor point. And the kick is always my anchor point. In my template, I mix it up to -3 decibels and build everything else around that. In a previous video, I mentioned tips to quickly improve your mix, and choosing the sub-element was one of those tips. We now have the kick nice and centered and big in the mix, and now we can choose the sub-element to mix the kick and bass, also a big challenge. Moving on from the kick and bass, you go to the drums, or you go to the other elements in the instruments, or the FX, and there you go, you're already starting to mix with a clear plan and a clear idea. To be honest, that was already my tips for starting a mix. If you thought, wait, this was way too easy, way too short, it doesn't have to be difficult. The easier you make it for yourself, the quicker it goes and the less hassle you have to do to make something sound good. My rule of thumb, if it takes too long, too much plugins to fix something or to get something sounding right, go back to the production. If you're changing it in the mix, it's already probably too late. That's why I said make sure your production is all good and well and ready to be mixed. This will save you so much headaches. And this really was it for me. It's quite easy, it's quite simple. The only thing left is to just do it. If you want to see specific mixing tips on how to balance kick and bass, on how to level your instruments, or on how to make everything sound bright and open, let me know in the comments and I will definitely make a video on that one. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.